Hi everyone, how are you doing? It's Jody from An Eye for Beauty, and today is our weekly energy update. No matter when you are hearing this message is meant for you. And we're calling upon the angels of divine white light, and we're asking them to give us some guidance for today. To be perfectly honest with you, what I was going to talk about was truly us looking at and taking a deep dive into emotional healing. But I changed my mind on that. And instead, I'm going to pull 3 cards. And if the card that is about that comes through, great. And that means that they want me to still speak about it. And if it doesn't, then that's fine too. So decide now if you would like to go with card number 1 or card number 2 or card number 3. And with each card today, I'm going to offer you a crystal that you might want to purchase as a bracelet or just as a piece or just to hold with you or to have in your home, depending on what the card is relevant about. Because crystals truly can help you with your healing process. We are all always and every day going through something, some sort of journey, some sort of lesson, and some sort of healing. That is part of the experience of being a human being. So if you're peaceful right now and you're not going through anything, great. That's amazing. But there are so many people that are suffering, that don't know where to turn, that don't know who to speak to. So if these readings and any information that can come through these readings can help and support you, that is why I do them. If there's anything in these readings that you feel somebody else would benefit from, please share it. And we're going to begin with the first card. So the first card is the compassion card. So just take a look at that card. Okay. And it's for self and others, softening the heart, being gentle, and seeing the good in others and in yourself. So there's a lot of stuff coming at me to share with you guys. And so before I forget, the crystal for this is rose quartz. Rose quartz is such a great crystal for helping us in promoting self-love and divine love. So you could have a rose quartz bracelet, ring, necklace, whatever. You can carry around a rose quartz. A lot of people like to put it in their bra or in their pocket or in their pocketbook. I have one on my nightstand, and I have a couple around the house as well. It's very peaceful. It makes you feel calm, and even if you're not really aware of what it's doing, it is helping you. Now, the compassion card. There's so much going on in our world, and there's so much going on in people's individual everyday lives. When we are seeing outside of ourselves things that are going on and we are in a state of judgment, we all do it. So you can't say that you never judged anyone a day in your life, because we all do it or have done it and try to be more mindful of not doing it, but we do it. So if you're seeing something outside of yourself where you're judging or you're frustrated, you have a reaction essentially. That is something that you are being asked to really take a look at, because whatever is affecting you externally is because there is something inside of yourself that you need to look at. And that is why you are asked to have compassion, to hold compassion. There are so many things going on outside of you, of your aura, your being. And when you find yourself being affected by them, whether it's fear, whether it's anxiousness, whether it is just being frustrated by it, being angry by it, there's something that you need to look at inside of yourself to ask yourself, why? Why am I angry? Why am I frustrated? First of all, most times it's because you cannot control the outcome. It could be something with a family member. It could be something in the workplace. It could be something in the world. But ask yourself why it's really affecting you. The second thing I want you to think about is, can you offer compassion to the person outside of yourself or the people or the situation at all? Are you like 80% angry and you can only be 20% compassionate? Are you 100% frustrated and zero compassion? You have no patience. You don't even want to hear it. These are things to ask yourself, because then I want you to ask yourself, are you compassionate with yourself? Oftentimes, if you cannot be compassionate outside of yourself in a situation, you're probably not very compassionate to your own self. And your self-talk might be not very good. And so this card is asking you to be more compassionate. There's different vibrations of emotions. There's high and there's low. Compassion is on a higher level. Frustration is on a lower level. But at the end of the day, the whole reason why all of this is coming through card number 1 is because you're being asked to look at how you really speak to yourself, how you really talk to yourself, how you really think about yourself, and then what outside of yourself occurs that frustrates you and why. The rose quartz crystal is all about divine love and self-love. And what loving steps do you take to be loving to yourself? The more that you're loving to yourself, the more easily you can see a situation for what it is outside of yourself. You might hold a little bit of frustration, but you're not going to attach yourself to it. And that's where the difference is for you who chose card number 1. Because you're being asked to be more gentle. And being more gentle is being more compassionate to yourself. And when you do that, you can be more compassionate to others and to any situation outside of yourself. And I'm going to give you an example if this is not making sense. And the example is of the big world event, the war that's going on right now. Well, I guess we have 2 wars going on. But I could sit here and be angry at a side or another side or our own government. And I can totally look at the situation from a higher perspective and definitely feel all of those things. But I have compassion for all of the people that are being affected by this. All of them. Not a side, but all of them. And I have compassion for the world, Mother Earth, Gaia, for all that she has been holding on to. And it's not just the wars. We have our own stuff going on in this country alone. The fires, the earthquakes, all of the things going on are affecting tons and tons of people as well. And when you are able to look at something from a higher perspective, you're not as attached to it. Because there's another piece to this which will trigger and upset probably a lot of people, but we all choose our path before we come onto this earth. I didn't choose to live in Israel. I didn't choose to live in Los Angeles. I chose to live where I live at this time. I chose to be who I am, where I am. And I chose my own struggles and my own lessons. And every person that's in those scenarios right now, they chose it before they came on earth. They made a plan with God. They said, I want to be here now to learn whatever they are learning through this horrific experience. But they chose it because there were lessons that they came onto this. We all come onto this earth to learn something. And those lessons, whatever they are, they came on to learn. And that is something that is deep and it's heavy, but it's true. God doesn't pick and choose who he's going to put where. You work as a partner with him. If you look up Akashic records, you will find that it's libraries of all beings and their life soul path that you determined with God. So if you can look at from the smallest situation that you're going through to the big situations that are going on in the world, where can you offer more compassion? Where can you be gentler? I'll tell you another example of not gentle, but a sign. When you're driving on the road and you see a deer, or you see many deer, deer symbolize diplomacy and gentleness. And if you're seeing the deer, I want you to think about, what were you just thinking, or were you speaking bad to yourself or unkindly to someone else? The deer represents being gentle. It's asking you to be more gentle with yourself or with others. Compassion. So card number 1, people, please soften your heart at something, at many things, at yourself. And do the best you can to be just a little bit gentler with how you speak to yourself, how you speak about situations, and how you speak to others. Card number 2 is the expression card. So the expression card is about finding your voice, opening up the throat chakra, speaking your truth, communicating, and anything that's bottled up inside of you that you wish you could say, but you don't, needs to be expressed. As always, when we look at these cards, we go from left to right, past, present, future, even though I do 1, 2, and 3. And so you have to find more compassion in order for you to be able to speak those bottled up emotions. Archangel Gabriel is the archangel that helps us to communicate, and he does many other things. But when I am sharing with a client or a friend, speaking your truth, what I suggest is asking Archangel Gabriel to help you with the words that you need to speak, so that whoever you're speaking them to will receive them in the way that you meant them. Because oftentimes we say something and the person that's receiving the words doesn't receive them the way we meant for them to. And then there's conflict. So this card today, for people who chose card number 2, is telling me that you're not really speaking how you feel. And quite frankly, maybe you don't know how you feel. And so the first step is going inward, taking the deep dive inward to say, what am I actually feeling? What am I really feeling about this situation? You see on social media that people will repost and repost any situation. It could be the smallest thing, it could be the world stuff, but they just repost and repost and repost. But they're using other people's words, other people's view, other people's vision. It's like, that's not who you are. It's not authentic. And so card number 2 is truly asking you to be your most truest, authentic self. Another example, a lot of things are coming at me today for you guys. I'm going to take college because my kids are in college. My daughter's going, my son is already there. I don't care what college your child or what they want to do. Doesn't matter. Whatever they want to do that is most authentic to them is what they should do. But what happens is, everybody gets caught up in Ivy League schools, and you're seeing now how a crock of shit Ivy League schools are in terms of what is going on there, right? And you're seeing that college is not all it's cracked up to be, because all it is truly is a business. If there is something that your child wants to study, and there is somewhere they really want to study it, because they want to, and it's their authentic self that's choosing it, That's amazing. But if they are just doing what everybody else is doing because they think they're supposed to, it's all bottling up here because they're not speaking how they really feel. And then, of course, maybe people aren't going to listen to them if they even say it. That's one example of so many things that are going on right now where people are feeling silenced. Look at what has happened the last 3 years. People are being silenced if they're speaking their truth. Whatever is happening outside of you, I don't care. You're being asked to start looking inside of you. What are you feeling and how do you want to express it to the people that you want to express it to? And if you don't feel safe to express what you need to express, the first step is to write it down. The second step is to find support in order to be able to. Now remember, this is a general reading because everybody's situation is going to be different who chose card number 2. But it is time for you to speak your truth and release out what you need to release to speak. Because remember, everything is energy. And what happens is if you're not actually speaking your truth, it will show up in a physical way in disease, sore throat, strep throat, God forbid, throat cancer. There's so many ways it will show up and you don't want that to happen. So speak your truth, write it out, rip it up, burn it, but get it out because the energy will be stagnant. Can Reiki help to clear away that stagnancy? Sure. But when you get off the table and you continue the pattern, it's just going to come right back. Reiki's not magic. Reiki breaks up the stagnant energy. But if the people that come for Reiki don't do the work and they keep going back into the old pattern, well, then it's not really going to help. And at the end of the day, that is what we are doing this year. We are breaking old patterns, ancestral patterns, generational patterns that are no longer serving us. And each of us has to find a way in which to break the pattern that has been going on in our own ancestral lineage. And a lot of us are learning how to speak our truth. If you are having trouble with that, contact me and I will help you in a session. Card number 3. Oh, look at that. 2 cards came out and it's about intuition and it's actually the card of the deck, but it says meditation. So how do you engage in your intuition? By meditating, by quieting the mind, by connecting to the soul, by trusting what comes up, by knowing the difference between is it my intuition or is it my fear? When something comes to you and it's light and it makes you excited, maybe a little nervous, maybe it's a little risk, I'm not really sure, but I'm excited, that's your intuition. That's your true self speaking to you, your inner voice. When it's heavy, I don't want to do this, oh my God, I think of Eeyore from Pooh. It's that weight, that feeling, well, that's your fear. And then you need to look at what are you fearing? Remember that you are protected. You're listening to this. You believe in God and the angels. You are protected. Call in the protection. I hope that this message served you guys. We're almost at 15 minutes and I don't want this to cut off. So take what resonates, let go of the rest. I wish you all a great week. Take care and we will speak soon. Bye-bye.